This is the Interpretation Act of Canada. Article 3 of the Interpretation Act of Canada. Application. Every provision of this Act applies, unless a contrary intention appears, to every enactment, whether enacted before or after the commencement of this Act. Article 35 of the Interpretation Act of Canada. General definitions. In every enactment, everyone, person, or any word or expression descriptive of a person, comma, includes a corporation. Includes a corporation. Black Laws, 7th edition. Expressio unius e exclusio alteris. The expression of one thing is the exclusion of another. In the Interpretation Act of Canada, it goes to the chapter Application, and it states that every provision of this Act, the Interpretation Act, it applies unless a contrary intention appears to every enactment, whether enacted before or after the commencement of this Act. So every law, every rule, every regulation that's been enacted, this Act, the Interpretation Act, it applies to it. Whether the Highway Safety Code, whether municipal taxation accounts, no matter what enactment or legislation it is, this Interpretation Act applies to it. Now it says that unless a contrary intention appears. So, every provision, every article of law that you find in the Interpretation Act will apply to every enactment, unless a contrary intention appears. Now, when you stay in the Interpretation Act, and you go down to general definitions under section 35, it says, in every enactment. So every enactment that's been given force of law, whatever province it is, in every enactment, the word person, or any word or expression descriptive of a person, includes, notice that, includes a corporation. So they're saying, anytime you see the word person being used in a law, meaning in a regulation, in an enactment, in the Highway Safety Code, in the municipal taxation accounts, every time you see the word person being used, it includes a corporation. Now some would say that this statement includes a corporation is saying that you can add other things. But that's not what it is indicating. When you look into legal definitions of words, there's an expression that comes out. Expressio unius e exclusio alteris. The expression of one thing is the exclusion of another. So by them expressing one thing, corporation, the word corporation, it excludes all others. All others. Now notice in the word includes, they put an S. It's not include with an E. It includes with an F. S. That is what renders it under this designation here. The fact that it's included one, it's excluded all others. Now, when you look into, again, legal definitions of words, it says the word include is to contain as part of something. The participle including typically indicates a partial list. So if they would have used the word include here with no S, then this you could have said is a partial list. And whatever was noted, the word corporation, we could have applied this and say, well, I'm sorry, that's just a partial list. However, since they did not use the word include, but they used the word includes, therefore, when we look in the enactments in our provinces or all across Canada, and we see the word person, we know that the word person is defining or designating or showing us that it only means a corporation. Black Laws, 7th edition. Corporation. An artificial person or legal entity. created by or under the authority of laws of a state or nation. So in any enactment, the word person only includes a corporation. So when you look into the word artificial person, you're going to find that an artificial person now is an entity such as a corporation. Okay? So an artificial person is an entity such as a corporation created by law and given certain legal rights and duties of a human being, a being, real or imaginary, who, for the purpose of legal reasoning, is treated more or less as a human being. So, the word person means an entity, when we apply it to us here in Canada, that's been created by law and that's been given certain legal rights and duties of a human being. The word person, when we use the word person, means a being, real or imaginary, who for the purpose of legal reasoning is treated more or less as a human being. More or less. So we look into the legal definition of the word corporation. Corporation. And it says that corporation is an artificial person or legal entity. Now notice that. Created by or under the authority of the laws of a state or nation. So a person is an artificial person, a legal entity, okay, that's been created by law and given certain legal rights and duties of a human being. So every time you use the word person, when you refer to yourself, I'm a person, there's a person, we are persons, I guess, or people, but nevertheless persons, you're saying that you are referring to yourself as a created being, an entity that was created by law, and that you were given certain legal rights and duties of a human being. That you do not possess all of the rights and duties of a human being, but certain of them. And you are saying, when you use the word person, that you are referring to a being who is real or imaginary, who for the purpose of legal reasoning is treated more or less as a human being. Now looking back at the Interpretation Act of Canada, where it says person, or any word or expression descriptive of a person includes a corporation, what it's saying is includes a legal person, an artificial person. Anytime you use the word person, you're saying a legal person, artificial person. Civil Code of Quebec, Article 1. Every human being possesses juridical personality and has the full enjoyment of civil rights. Black Laws, 7th edition, juridical person or juridical personality. It says, see artificial person. The Quebec Civil Code, Article 1. This is particular to my province where I'm residing in. But look at this article of law. Every human being possesses juridical personality and has the full enjoyment of civil rights. Now, when you look in Black Laws Dictionary, you find that juridical person or juridical personality means artificial person, legal person. So, every human being has an entity that's been created by law and that's been given certain legal rights and duties of a human being attached to them. Every human being possesses or has a being, real or imaginary, who, for the purpose of legal reasoning, is treated more or less as a human being. Now, I could even qualify that more than this, because they only treat us as this person. They 99.5% of the time only recognize us under this designation of person. And through this person, they've given us certain legal rights and freedoms available to us here in Canada. Not all. This person is an entity, a being, that was created by law as a mechanism or a mechanic to control the human being. The Canadian Citizenship Act, Article 3. Now there's no redefinition of the word person in this enactment. You won't find a provision contrary to change the word or the meaning of the word person in this enactment. Article 3. Subject to this act, a person is a citizen. Now you see that. A person is a citizen. Not a human being, not a man and woman, but a person. That legal entity, that artificial being that was created by law and given certain rights and duties of a human being. That is who is a Canadian citizen.